Hey guys, I'm Brent. This is video 3 of my narcissist dealings. Like last video kind of covered how the ball got started rolling. And I guess it would be the love bombing stage. It wasn't really love bombing though. She never said I love you, but it was how we just meshed so well. Never met anybody like me. Shit like that. How I became the center. Felt how I was made to feel like I was the center of that. But it also goes in with what I'm about to talk about, and that's just the perpetual victim. Like I said, she was. Like I've said before, she was in a decade plus long marriage with an abusive narcissist as well, and she had story after story, and there are fucked up stories about it. And then after she separated, but before she got divorced, she dated this dude for 6-8 months, somewhere in there, who cheated on her all the time. Kind of used her for money, cheated on her, wouldn't leave her alone. And I actually kind of met this dude. He came up to work looking for her one day, and he looked kind of I don't know, he wasn't well put together, I'll put it like that. It was like, and Amy, I'm calling her narcissist Amy. Amy is you hear about narcissists not having their shit together, not having their life together. She does actually. I mean, she's had this job for years. She was always a really good mom. And she seems to be holding down her shit. Never heard stories about her services getting cut off. Shit like that, But I don't know. I questioned, when I met this dude, he came up to work, so he just told him to leave. And it was like literally a 30-second thing. Me and a couple other dudes, her boss. And, like I said, she and I worked together. So, and I just remember thinking that, man, she's pretty put together. What the fuck is she doing with this dude? Maybe he went downhill after she ended shit. I don't know. But I heard story after story about this dude cheating on her. He lived with her. He didn't have a place to live, so he lived with. She let him stay with her and her son. And he would just be on Facebook and shit all day, meeting chicks. I would have them come pick him up at her house, shit like that. And she was just always the victim, which that's a victim thing, getting cheated on. I mean, I understand that's, even when you play the victim all the time, you're still the victim sometimes, And then her ex-husband, heard countless stories, fucked up stories about that. And I don't doubt him. I mean, I've heard most of the same shit from other people who knew her. Whether she embellished it, I mean, at the time I didn't think so. Now I don't know what to believe. And I'd hate to, I don't really want to jump around, but I went to court with her a couple times. And, she always said that when she saw her ex-husband, that she always she wished it, and everybody who's been married wished it would have worked out, right? I don't think anybody wanted to get divorced. When you got married, you didn't go, hey, I want to get divorced from this person someday, When I got married, I wanted it to work out. I wanted it to grow old. And she had, she would confide in me how she wished it would have been different. As somebody from a failed marriage, I understood that. Next video I'll get into triangulation, because triangulation is almost off the bat. Well, I'll talk about this time. She had this friend that she knew from school, and then they lost touch during her marriage. Her husband was controlling and didn't allow her to have a lot of friends, especially male friends. So, and then I guess they had, kind of rekindled their friendship. And before she even started talking, when I was still in a previous relationship, she would ask me stuff like, "Hey, I have this friend, and one day, she came and she's like, 'What would this mean? I have this friend who kind of likes me, but he's married, and then he just recently called me and said that he found another man's shirt in his closet. The sizes were different. What does that mean?' I thought about it for a second. I was like, well, if he, and I told her, if he likes you, he's just trying to gauge, what your reaction should be. Whether you tell him to leave her. That way, if he likes you, he can have you. But from her end, it was always they were just friends. He wanted something else. She didn't. And she always said she made that clear. So our first date happened. And it was an impromptu date. I was driving home from work. In fact, I was just pulling in my driveway. And she texted me and asked me if I wanted to do something. And I was like, yeah. So we met at a restaurant. It's kind of a Cajun place. And before that, she invited, the weekend before this, Saturday before that, she invited me to her best friend's house. And it was awesome, man. I went, and it was her son, her best friend's children. We played like board games and shit. And we had a really great time. Stayed there till wee hours in the morning. I probably showed up like at 6. And and at this point, I'm totally digging her, man. Like I said, we've kind of been in this love bomb phase. Never said I love you. I don't want to say it was a love bomb, but it was a idolization phase, I guess. And man, I spent like 10 hours at her best friend's house. Like I said, we played board games. We talked, we bullshitted, we kind of drank, laughed, had fun. It was a great night. Made fun of people, each other, and just had a great night. And I went to leave, and she and I were standing in the driveway, and like I didn't kiss her, like it, I wasn't gonna. Just it felt weird. Not weird. It was like, I'm not gonna kiss you for the first time in your best friend's fucking driveway, in this piece of shit town we're in. And also what was going through my head is, like I've said in previous videos, I had less than a month earlier, I just ended a relationship, a year and plus relationship. And I was asking myself when I was standing in that driveway, am I ready for this? Do I want to jump right back in? Because that's not normally how I roll. After my marriage, after I left my wife, it was over a year, and that was a long thing, but I wanted to have some breathing room. And so, I was standing in that driveway. There's another thing I was thinking about is, I don't know if I want to do this right now. So fast forward, a couple days later, she texted me, asked me if we want to do something. We meet at a restaurant, and this, the friend, like, power called her all night. The dude friend, and I think she had said something before this that he brought her to dinner. The friend brought, Amy, the narcissist, to dinner and wanted her to be his side piece until he got a divorce. And she said she laughed it off. And I looking back, I don't know. But he was chasing her, straight up. So we're sitting at dinner, and he's power calling her. And not just like, power calling like 10, 15, 20 times in the course of an hour meal, And instead of just picking up the phone and saying, hey, call me fucking later, which is what I would have done on the second call. She just doesn't. But we have a good dinner. We talk, she's engaged. I'm engaged, I think, it was an awesome night. And then, we left there, we left there and went and had some, ice cream, Dairy Queen. She's a big Dairy Queen fan, as am I. We got some blizzards, And then we went and walked. We went down to like a boat ramp. There's a river nearby. And next to the river is a country club. And I was like, fuck it, man. Let's do some trespassing. Let's just walk the golf course. So we did. And so she was mad at me when I wouldn't kiss her at her friend's house. So I was like, fuck it. I'm really digging. After that dinner and just us talking, even though homeboy was power calling, I was like, I don't want to lose this because I'm wondering if I'm ready. So I went and tried to kiss her, and she didn't kiss me back. It was a playful thing. It wasn't, it's not what I'm, it was very playful. She's like, nope, not yet. And so, which nobody's ever done, and so that sank the hook. Like, all right, now it's a chase. And so we walk around a little bit. I think I tried to kiss her again, and she's like, not yet. And like I said, I can be kind of a closet nerd. And the fucking space station flew over. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I started pointing out planets and stars and whatnot. And she seemed really into it. She was, and homeboy's still calling though. Instead of just saying, picking up the phone saying, hey, call me later, homeboy's still calling. And I'll talk more about it in the next video, but that was the start of my chase. We ended up kissing, by the way. As we were leaving the golf course, she turned around and was like, all right, now. All right, let's do this or whatever. It was a cute kind of thing, but, so we did. And by this time I was like really nervous. And so I was kind of, I don't think I was kissing that well. And after that, we went on and we bought balloons and ballooned a friend's house, friend of ours' house, another coworker. And it was just a fun, kick-ass night, man. We had, the night started probably around 7, and I think I got home around like 4 in the morning. And so we drove around. We fucked with a friend. We talked. It was a connection like I had never had on a first date. And it was probably one of the best first dates I've ever been on, truth be told. By this point, she knew what I liked. And, she had watched me. When we hung out previous times, she would like, looking back, she was watching. She would kind of sit back and kind of be quiet. She would be engaged, but she would study. She was studying what I liked, what I said. And by the time the first date happened, she started matching those things. But it was a great night, man. Look, man, I still think we had a blast. It was awesome. But, kind of getting off topic, the triangulation also started that first night. And I'm going to have to make a part 2. I don't want to go too long about the triangulation starting. So I'll end it here, and then we'll pick up in a few with that.